is the second most expensive state for electricity.
For more, let's bring in Power the Future founder and executive director Daniel Turner. Daniel, she mentions nuclear in that little show she put on, right. But the point is her little box of munchkins, she leaves out fossil fuels.
Yeah.
So she's got a little box of donut holes. She is, in essence, leaving out every herd of cattle west of the Mississippi, by comparison.
Yeah, whoever scripted this video has the IQ of that box of munchkins. This was not just cringeworthy, it's really offensive to the voters to treat them like a bunch of school children. What Maura Healey doesn't tell people in the video is that she's also on video bragging about stopping fossil fuel pipelines of LNG that will come from Pennsylvania, the second largest LNG exporter in the country after Texas. She blocked those pipelines because of climate concerns. What she doesn't tell you is that just a few years ago, she shut down the last of Massachusetts' great coal plants, and that was 2,000 megawatts, about 1.5 million homes worth of electricity, and she shut that down for climate change as well. So they weren't in her box of munchkins because they're inconvenient. And then she has the gall to look around and say, why are electricity prices so high? So this video is dumb, it's offensive, it's cringy, and it just shows you the level of ineptitude of the people who craft it and what they think of us.
Is Massachusetts becoming the California of the East, Daniel? Because it kind of looks like that. She's doing a Gavin Newsom impression here. Yeah.
I hope so, because that means my great state and Dagan's great state, the Commonwealth of Virginia, that means we're not going to become the California of the East. So yes, let's give Massachusetts that award. There are lots of Californias of the East, unfortunately. The entire Northeast, it used to start really in Jersey, but now with Governor Spanberger here in Virginia, maybe it's heading a little further south. But the entire Northeast, when it comes to energy, is pretty much a disaster. New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, all the way up to Maine. And it's insanity because, as I said, Pennsylvania has enough natural gas, and quite frankly, West Virginia has enough coal to power the world, not just this area. So it's just bad, dumb Democrat policies that have made these states almost unlivable.
Anytime a left-wing nut like the governor talks about the glory that is wind, offshore wind, I want to go back and pinpoint the wind contracts, the electricity contracts that New York State signed a couple of years ago with these two large wind farms. Their projects were expected to be finished this year and next year, but this state agreed to pay megawatt hour 4 times the average grid cost. 4x is what the cost was. That's why your electricity costs are skyrocketing in Massachusetts and in New York and in places like New Jersey, Dan.
Yeah, and this doesn't happen in a vacuum. We have a precedent set by Europe, which is 30 years in the making, that wind and solar do not work. They do not work if you consider work to be a more reliable grid at a more affordable ratepayer rate. And we don't see that anywhere in Europe, and yet they continue to double down on it. In places like California and now Massachusetts and growing Virginia as well, they continue to embrace policies that are proven to be failures time and time again. And that just shows there's no middle ground when it comes to the climate left. There's no reach across the aisle and let's work together. There is insanity and us.
You know, they say there's no such thing as bad press, but if you're Dunkin' Donuts, do you really want to be associated with Maura Healey? I'm thinking maybe not. You know, use a different example next time. Governor Daniel Turner, good to see you, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Does Tim Hortons make donuts?